What is going on, everyone? It's Chandler. We got David here. What's the check down? And you know what? Forget free agency. Forget all that. I got a lot of hate this past week, and I'm ready to put my cards on the table, unload the full deck, and say this is what I got, and talk about quarterbacks. What do you think?
Honestly, from what I've seen this week with the TikToks, you might have the worst takes of all time.
I'm
I
taking him.
think, I think you're up there with Skip Bayless, Stephen A. You're right there. They're like number 3 on the list.
That honestly, as long as I'm not number one, because you literally commented my two least favorite sports
I mean, you might be
analysts.
smushed in
Nah,
there.
nah,
You might
don't
be
even with
sandwiched in there
that.
at
Not
this
even.
point.
I wouldn't.
Hey, according to TikTok, not me.
Other than that, I hope you're doing well. We're gonna get into this. So we're gonna do my top 5 quarterbacks of all time because apparently that's my needs to talk about how I feel. And you're gonna throw your hat in the ring. We're gonna listen to what you have to say today, huh?
Yeah, I might get some hate on mine too. So
Good.
we'll see.
Good. So now, before we get
Spread the
into
wealth.
that, we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to go into the free agency after, because as soon as free agency hit the very next day, I feel like every single day it's a new story in the NFL. Like there's a new contender for the AFC and NFC championship after every single day in the playoffs and the entire league.
Absolutely. I feel like this might be the biggest roller coaster in offseason history. We've just gone from trades to signings to this and that and this. Absolutely insane.
Next thing
I feel like this is unrivaled.
Yeah.
Like even the NBA hasn't had this much turnover.
Next thing you know,
Ever.
the Houston Texans are going to move to London because, Madden 23 is releasing. They're trying to do the relocation. maybe it's a grace that, unfortunately, John Madden passed away, but he's in the sky right now trying to, play his little game that he never got an opportunity to play while he was alive.
John Madden's going hard on the sticks right now.
Rest in peace, John Madden.
It truly is. It truly is like a big game of Madden.
It really
at
is.
this point. Like Tyreek Hill getting traded.
What we'll get into
would
that.
never happen,
right?
We'll talk about it. Yeah, we'll talk about that. That's an interesting one for sure.
For the top 5 quarterback list, this is how it's gonna go. Is I would like you to say yours. I'm gonna say mine after, and then I'm going to explain the most controversial part of it that I got a lot of hate on. And I'm going to give my reasoning because people were asking for a reasoning. So I'm going to give it to the people they want. And if they don't want it, well, that's their fault. I tried.
Hey, fair enough. I can respect that.
All right, David, here you go. You can explain them if you want to. We'll go over it at the end just to make a clip of it. But what is your top 5 quarterback? And to put this actually before asterisk, because I want this to be understood. This is quarterbacks when it comes to skill. This is quarterbacks when it comes to their ability to play the position. This is the top 5 quarterbacks of all time, not the top 5 winners, because that is factual, but the top 5 quarterbacks of all time.
Okay.
You got it?
Ready?
Yes, sir. Well, no, there's no particular order for mine. I don't know if you have do you have an order?
I mean, I have an order-ish. I'm not going to go in order, but I'll talk about probably the most controversial one that I have on there.
Okay.
And it's going to be Patrick Mahomes at whatever number.
Okay.
I know which number. You guys will never know. Patty at number something. I feel like I don't really have to justify my lit or that pick because it speaks for himself or for itself. He's had over 100 for pass rating his first 4 years. And I think last year was his lowest at 98, which is still above average. And so I would say he's on pace to be probably the best quarterback of all time, but we'll see. Next, I'm going to go with Dan Marino.
Okay.
He doesn't have a Super Bowl.
No.
And he's going to be the only one on the list that doesn't have a Super Bowl.
Yep.
But he was a talented quarterback in his time, kind of in the same vein as like a Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers because he was just that talented.
Gunslinger,
Just never, just
gunslinger.
just never won. So that's the one reason why he kind of gets poo pooed in the big lists. Um, my next person is Tom Brady
Okay.
because, and this is, and I know this isn't controversial to most, but to those who that feels controversial to, you can't discount the fact that he takes his team to the playoffs almost. I don't think Tom Brady's ever missed a playoff, and either in the NFC or the AFC. To me, that is a part of your job description as a quarterback. And that tells me enough to say that I don't think there's a single other quarterback that has that kind of stat. And
Mhm.
so for me, that is good enough to get him into the top five list. My number, I'm not giving numbers.
Ooh,
You
number
almost got me.
two.
But number two technically would be Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Uh, as much as I hate the guy, I am trying my best to separate off field from on the field, and on the field he's an absolute monster. And even though his he hasn't really done much in the playoffs, he's still probably top two talented players of all time.
Mhm.
But on my list, he isn't. I'll give you a hint. He's not top two in my list,
Okay.
but that's neither here nor there. And finally, and I will give this one away. Peyton Manning is number one. Peyton
Absolutely.
is number one on my list, and you cannot. I'm not even going to argue it. You can't argue with me on this one. He's number one,
Yeah.
and that's David's top five QBs of all time, according to skill.
Okay. So now my question for you is going to go back to the Mahomes. I agree. And I will be honest, he is not on my list. And
I
my
figured.
reason is that I will give it that he will be the greatest quarterback
Wait, wait,
if he
wait.
continues the trajectory that he is on, right? And possibly Josh Allen could do that as well,
Yeah.
right? So that's why, like, yes, so far, Patrick Mahomes is going to be up there. But if his career ended today, he wouldn't be up there.
Okay. So here's my counter to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna bring in a different sport. It's not exactly the same, but Steph Curry, would you say he's at least in the top 10 players of all time?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But
So but yeah, okay. Let me get to it. I know that Steph Curry's been in the league longer than Patrick Mahomes has been in the league. But in terms of football years and basketball years, I would say they're pretty comparable. So I would say Patrick Mahomes is changed the game of football in the same way that Steph Curry has changed the game. And so I would say that Patrick Mahomes is likened to Steph Curry,
mm-hmm.
can be categorized as one of the top five quarterbacks of all time, as Steph Curry can be categorized as one of the top five point guards of all time or shooting guards, whatever, regardless, whatever you want to put him. But in his position, I would say he's top five. So I liken that to the same thing as Patrick Mahomes, regardless
So
of how long they played.
so can you give me that condensed quick version real quick? What is similar between Patrick Mahomes and Steph Curry? Just quick condensed.
They're both game changers. They both changed the way the position is played, and they both ushered in the new era of the way the game is being played.
Perfect. That's all you got to say. Because it's true. Um, I don't have an issue with your list because I'm very okay with you being a subjective person. Everyone has their own opinion, and that's what's so funny to me. And like people get so mad, like, "Oh, that's a terrible take." It's like we watch the game of football, right? We do. We both live it. We both breathe it. That is our thing, the NFL. And when
Yeah.
it comes to that, we both look at different aspects of the game, right? So like
Yes.
for me, I look at different things than you do, and I understand why your top five is your top five. I don't disagree with it because it makes sense. People get mad at me because I don't think Tom Brady's top five, but I will get into that after because he's not on my list. I have my list right here. I'm gonna put it back here. You probably won't be able to read it, but it is back there. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I agree with most of yours. Peyton Manning, easily. Don't even. Sheriff. Like, do you realize Peyton Manning did what he did in like 16 years and had to not play a year, what Tom Brady's doing in 20? Can we just talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
And then, because just to give you an idea, just to stack them up together. This is Tom Brady compared to Peyton Manning. Tom Brady has 3 MVPs. Peyton Manning has 6. Tom Brady has 7 championships. Peyton Manning has 2. Tom Brady has 3 All-Pro. Peyton Manning has 7 All-Pro. Tom Brady has 15 Pro Bowls. Peyton Manning has 14 Pro Bowls. Obviously, Peyton Manning's in the Hall of Time, and Peyton Manning is also the first all-time in game-winning drives. Tom Brady is number 2. And that's crazy to
My
think.
boy.
Like, think about that when it comes to Peyton Manning, is that he really, when you think about even his last year not being that successful for his style, he did so well to the point where Tom Brady's finally passing some of his records now. And Tom Brady's been starting all those years, which is crazy to think. So Manning is on my top 5 list. Aaron Rodgers, you can't, undoubtedly, like, I'm sorry, the man's incredible. There's nothing on a football field that man can't do. Absolutely cannot do. Like,
I'm with you so far.
Ball placement, the spiral, the perfect. Everything is perfect. And Dan Marino is also on my list. Dan Marino walked so Brett Favre could run, so Patrick Mahomes could sprint. Simple as that.
Okay. Put it better than I did.
Dan Marino was a true gunslinger. Dan Marino came in to a struggling Dolphins team and just 49 touchdowns in a single season in 1984. Can you fathom that? Think about how long that record sat there. And
that's crazy.
Right?
That's crazy.
49 touchdowns. And the other 3 that have done it, Patrick Mahomes, Peyton Manning, and Tom Brady, are all, and people don't consider Dan Marino a top 5 quarterback. In a time where free agency didn't exist, Tyreek Hill would not be on the Miami Dolphins in 1984 right now. I'm telling you right now.
True. Yeah. Here's the thing. I'll let you keep going with your list. But here's the thing. At the time, Dan Marino's was playing, 49 touchdowns would be the equivalent of probably around 70 touchdowns. You didn't throw the ball that much, and he was slinging it.
He had in that year, I think it was 4 400-yard games and 9 300-yard games in 1984.
Incredible.
Stop hating on Dan Marino because he didn't win a championship. And this is where I go for the whole Super Bowl thing, right? Like this is where my argument comes in, because like when you have Dan Marino who doesn't have an opportunity, like it's the same thing that the bucket. I won't get into it. Won't get into it yet. I'll just continue my list. Also on my list. So far I've agreed with all of you. Okay, all of yours. Brett Favre. Like, I'm sorry, Brett Favre evolved the game. Brett Favre wasn't even supposed to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. Oh, also, hey, by the way, I forgot to tell you this. Shout out Peyton Manning. It's his birthday. Happy birthday, Peyton Manning.
Happy birthday, Sheriff.
If you watch what Brett Favre did on a field, it was Dan Marino-esque. The way he put his ball, like put the ball into place, the way he commanded the team. He was a true outlaw leader. He did what Patrick Mahomes did before Patrick Mahomes made it cool. The falling to the ground and throwing it backwards, he did all of that. Brett Favre is incredible. And if you don't agree with me, that's fine. But just so you know, Brett Favre, 3-time MVP, same as Tom Brady. Okay. 1-time Super Bowl champ, 3-time All-Pro, 11-time Pro Bowler. He's 4th all-time passing to this day. Think about that. So to even put that in perspective, that is incredible. To think about the time he played again, still you got to think about like the time that he ended and going into 2009 playing in that division, which it was actually a better division at the time than I think it is now. Like I think that that was a better division.
What was 1 second? 1 second. I know I love interrupting your takes
No, you're
because
good.
you always have takes that I need to interrupt. Why was Brett Favre not why didn't they go to more Super Bowls? What was his biggest issue?
I'm going to say that like his whatever receivers. It's going to be
You
defense.
think
Like
it's his
no,
receivers?
listen. Think about this. I want you to think about that division at the time was a lot better than like what it was for a couple years lately compared to like the Vikings and the Bears falling
I'll
apart.
I'll give that.
Like
to
don't
you.
forget the Bears made it to a Super Bowl when he was playing, right? Like so
You
like
want me to tell you what his biggest problem is for me?
hmm,
His interceptions.
I can agree. He's a
That's
gunslinger.
the
I
problem.
agree with you. I 100% agree with you. And he played reckless. But I mean, hey,
And
I'm just saying if Patrick Mahomes doesn't calm it down, he's going down the same trajectory, especially with having no Tyreek Hill now.
that's very true. But here's my thing. The reason why Patrick Mahomes deserves to be on the list versus Brett Favre is the fact that he doesn't throw as many interceptions currently.
Yeah.
The reason why Tom Brady deserves to be on the list, other than Brett or like
Over Brett Favre.
instead of Brett Favre,
Mm-hmm.
is because Tom Brady has the same stats, very close to the same stats, same kind of accolades, probably a little bit more than Brett Favre.
Oh, yeah.
But he doesn't throw interceptions.
I agree with you.
Which if you're gonna boil down what a quarterback's job is, it's gonna be score touchdowns, move the ball, don't throw interceptions, and make sure your team wins. Tom Brady does all three of those. Brett Favre does two of those.
When it comes to skill wise, when it comes to putting a ball in air, like actual like deep ball, when it comes to actually like short passes, when it comes to accuracy, when it comes to being able to move out of the pocket and make a running play if he needs to. I think I looked at it. I think he's like 11th all time in rushing yards as a quarterback, which is kind of crazy when you think about it too. Like being able to do those things, the actual skill level is what I look at. Yes, he had interceptions and he was given that opportunity because his team, same with Aaron Rodgers, the same thing Aaron Rodgers is fighting for in Green Bay is that they don't have the talent around them. And that's where I have the issue is that when I look at Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't have the talent, especially now. Who the hell does he have? His top two receivers are gone. He's Adam Lazard. Okay, good luck, bud. Anyways, we'll get to that later. Like, it's just like you look at what happened to them, and it's like they have to make more. That's the same with Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes right now is trying to make so much more happen. Because he's bored, right? That's the thing about Patrick Mahomes that he's bored right now, and he wants to make that big play happen. He's running for his life. And when you're asked to do more as a quarterback, you make more mistakes unless your name is Aaron freaking Rodgers, because apparently he just doesn't throw interceptions or do anything. But he plays passively and doesn't put the ball between three defensive players or right on the dime or anything. No, can't do that. I digress and I continue. Next one. This is my fifth. I actually had another one I was going to put. I almost put them over Marino, actually. But this one is Joe Montana. And it was the way that Joe Montana had back in the day. That team came out of nowhere. People don't realize that before Jerry Rice got there, that team with San Fran, no one cared about San Francisco. And if you go back and watch like their old games, and trust me, I did all this. I literally went back and I watched film because I'm not going to sit up and talk up here and just say random shit. Joe Montana got the name Comeback Kid for a reason. Like that was Comeback Kid was his name. He was able to do that. Now I'm not going to say like, of course, again, same idea with Tom Brady is that Tom Brady and Peyton are number 2 all time. But Joe Montana played in a time before free agency had available. So you didn't have that option. And he was still a 2-time MVP, 4-time Super Bowl champion, 3 All-Pro, 8 Pro Bowls in the Hall of Fame as well. So when we talk about like if you're going to match up most valuable player, usually the most valuable player to a team is the one that's doing more with nothing around them. That's why Aaron Rodgers racks up MVPs and can't win Super Bowls. It's because he has to do more for his team. That's why we haven't had the most valuable player win the Super Bowl in what, like 20 years? Most valuable players cannot win Super Bowls, and he was able to do that too. And he played at a time similar to Dan Marino that he just truly was able to make things happen when they weren't there. His movement with the ball was incredible. He was in a brand new offense that took everyone off guard. He was able to do short passing game in the Bill Walsh West Coast system, but he was also able to put the ball downfield and in tight spaces. We don't have the immaculate reception if he can't buy time. We don't have Jerry Rice being able to stutter step down the sideline if he doesn't put that ball on a perfect dime. Jerry Rice was there because of Joe Montana. And that's why I think he's very, very impressive. People don't necessarily always give him the credit he deserves, but when you go back and watch it, his game can translate to today's game. And that's why I believe Dan Marino and Joe Montana are up there, because their games can truly translate to the game today. There's other quarterbacks that were great back then that I don't think their games could translate today. The last one on my list that I didn't put on was Steve Young. And the only reason why I didn't put him, like I almost put him on my list, was that he was this 5th all-time quarterback rushing leader. And like that like also entails like people like Michael Vick and like Donovan McNabb and like Lamar Jackson. What he was able to like make plays, he just didn't play long enough. He still had great success, but he doesn't have enough passing yards. And he just to me, he's under Joe Montana when it comes to the San Fran dynasty that was the 80s and 90s.
So here's my I have a couple of
quarrels.
Things. Okay, no, not even quarrels.
I respected your list. Just saying.
Just some questions. I respect your list. There's one thing that I don't like about your list, and that's it. If you're like, okay, so here's another quarterback that that I feel like you should have thought about putting over at least Brett Favre. Is John Elway.
I almost did.
Should have been.
I almost did, but I went back, and John Elway, it went to the point where the one Super Bowl, and there were just times where the renegade thing that he didn't necessarily work, in my opinion, compared to like what it did with Brett Favre.
So you think Brett Favre would work in this era?
Oh my God, absolutely. How would he not? Like, honestly, when you think about it, I mean, Josh Allen, like Patrick Mahomes, like they have that blueprint from Brett Favre. Like if you go back and watch him, he's a quarterback that was just always running around and throwing the ball 50, 60 yards down the field. How is that not today's quarterback? It's like Kyler Murray.
Okay. All right. Let me just get. Okay, this is my last thing. So we're gonna play a little game.
Okay.
You're a GM. You're starting a team.
Mm-hmm.
You're starting with a quarterback at their primes. Mm-hmm. Who I'm gonna go with your list versus Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Peyton Manning at his prime. You're taking over Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Okay. Dan Marino at his prime.
I'm going to tell you right now before you even get through this, yes, because I'm going to tell you why I don't think Tom Brady's a top 5 quarterback.
All right, yeah, that's where we need to get to.
So first off, all those 5 players in their prime, I'm sorry, is better than Tom Brady in his prime, because honestly, I don't know what Tom Brady's prime was. Why do you ask? Because Tom Brady, people love Tom Brady because he's the GOAT, right? I don't fight that. Tom Brady's the GOAT. Tom Brady is the championship winner. Tom Brady is the greatest. He truly is. And I want that to be understood. He is the greatest of all time. He is not the best quarterback of all time. Why? Because he was never even the best quarterback in the NFL at any point of his career.
That argument can be made.
How can you be the best quarterback of all time if you're never... That's what people say about Drew Brees all the time.
Ask Colts fans.
Okay. Ask Giants fans. You can speak on this. Why couldn't he beat the 9-7 Giants?
Hey, Eli Manning had his number. That's all I have to say. Sometimes you just have a guy's number. Sometimes a defense just has a guy's number. That's
But what
Tom
I'm trying to
Coughlin
say is
had
that
the perfect scheme for Tom Brady.
yes. But my argument is that people always want to say he's the best quarterback of all time. Tom Brady is the GOAT, but he was never the best quarterback when he played. He cannot be the best quarterback of all time. Peyton Manning was better than him. Okay? His entire time playing, Peyton Manning was a better quarterback the entire time than Tom Brady. You cannot argue that.
Oh, I could argue that, but I was a Peyton Manning
And then
fan.
once Peyton Manning started declined, Aaron Rodgers comes in. And then once Aaron Rodgers declines, which he didn't, and I would say he's still better than Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes comes in. You can't argue that Tom Brady, yes, he has MVPs, but here's the thing about MVPs. Like I said, they were the most useful player in that position for that team in that year. That doesn't necessarily mean they are the best player. That just means they are the most useful. And that, again, doesn't correlate to an NFL championship. Right? Mm-hmm. And let me ask you this. Does Tom Brady have his career if he's drafted by the Jets?
No.
Peyton Manning does.
I don't think so.
Peyton Manning, who was with the Colts? They had Marvin Harrison.
I don't think so.
But I'm saying
I don't think
Dan
so.
Marino.
You cannot make that argument. You cannot make that argument.
That's fair. Okay, but
the Jets are a historically bad franchise.
Regardless.
Okay, that's fine. Here's where we're gonna go. Let's put them on a team that isn't historically terrible. Let's go with the team that's that have been good.
You know perfect. Does he have the same career with the Green Bay Packers?
Yeah.
He's not winning 7.
He's not winning 7. I'd say 2.
So you're telling me he's going to win 2 Super Bowls just like Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers has done at the exact same time? So he played the exact same career?
No. Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
That's what I mean. No, that's what I'm saying. No, I agree with you there. You there. But in 20 years, Tom Brady would win 2 Super Bowls in Green Bay. So he win the equal amount that they've won in the last 20 years if he's on the Green Bay Packers, but he's better than Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers? Absolutely not.
Yes. No. By 1 Super Bowl.
Okay.
If they have but that's what I'm saying. If they have the exact same team.
But here's the thing. He gets traded to the Buccaneers. So technically you can't use that. You can't use that last one in the Buccaneers. You can't use that because that's a whole new team. The Patriots dynasty is a different dynasty. People need to understand this. People need to understand that I'm sorry, Tom Brady played in the weakest division for 10 years. 10 years was the weakest division. You just said the Jets are historically bad. He played against the Jets twice a year, which means he had 3 bye weeks in a year. He played against the Dolphins,
You're making good points, but the points that the thing is, the internet's not going to love you for
I don't care. I don't care if they're, but I'm okay with that because I just hate the whole.
Hey, I'm with you, TikTok. I'm on your guys' side on this one.
I'm just sick of the whole stand of he's great with people that don't even watch the game. And honestly, I'm sorry for people not giving Bill Belichick his freaking respect. And people
put some respect on Bill's name. Put some respect on Bill's name.
Because people say, oh yeah, Bill Belichick is great. No, you don't understand how good Bill Belichick is.
You want to know something that's crazy? Think about this for a second. Peyton Manning and Bill Belichick on the team. That would have been insane.
And do you know why?
That would have been insane.
Do you know why? Is because Peyton Manning had more skill than Tom Brady, but he was smart as Tom Brady. And he has that killer instinct. He has exactly Tom Brady did, but Tom Brady had the team and the coach that not to knock any of the Colts coaches because I love Tony Dungy, I love their coaches, but they're not Bill Belichick, right?
No, nobody is. And there's no coach you can compare to Bill Belichick.
And I don't even care. I'm not even going to make the argument that people love to make. Oh, Deflate Gate. Oh, the whole Spy Gate. Oh, on top of it, everything when it comes to Tuck Rule. I don't need to make that argument to know I'm right when it comes to the fact that Tom Brady does not have that success if he's put on the Patriots. If he's not put on the Patriots. But I know for damn sure every other quarterback that I put over him would have the same exact success. And I don't think Tom Brady is going to have an opportunity like he did with the Patriots. There's a reason why he was drafted in the 6th round, scrawny as hell, 199th overall. As much as we don't want to believe it, he was lucky enough to get an opportunity, which, of course, we can't diminish his career. He is freaking amazing. He is the GOAT. But when it comes down to this, I'm sorry, he is not the best quarterback of all time. Stop it. Like, as simple as that.
Let's put it this way. You're saying he's not the best quarterback of all time. I also agree. He's not the best quarterback at the position of all time. He is the luckiest quarterback of all time. He is.
He's the best businessman. He is the best businessman.
He got lucky with the Tuck rule. He got lucky with the team he got drafted to. He got lucky that he played in the worst division. So, I mean,
could we make the argument
luck is a product of great of the good. So,
could we make an argument that Bill Belichick isn't the greatest coach of all time? He was just in a shitty division.
You cannot. There's no chance.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna let you.
No. If there's anyone we're gonna give props to, it's going to be Bill Belichick. And why is that? You want to know how good Bill Belichick is? He's so incredible that his scheme and the way he coaches a team doesn't work anywhere else unless it's him.
I think that's a lot to do with respect, though.
Yes,
I think,
and Mike Vrabel can do it too.
But respect, garnered by the fact that he's won so many Super Bowls. He has 8 Super Bowls as a coach, 6 as a head coach.
And again, the whole championship thing, to me, I've never cared about that across any sport, because at the end of the day, there's got to be 52 other people on the team when it comes to football. In the NBA, there's 14 other people. I said this to you before. People always go, well, I mean, like Tom Brady, he's the best quarterback of all time because he has 7 championships. Then why isn't Bill Russell the best NBA player of all time? Right?
I think you can make that the Bill Russell argument more than you could make the Tom Brady argument for being the best of all time, because basketball at the time, I guess, wasn't so much a one-on-one game, but could be turned into a one-on-one game. Football, you have to rely on every phase of the game. That's why I think Bill Belichick gets more credit than Tom Brady.
Like you always say,
I still think Tom Brady
he deserves more credit.
Yeah, okay. He should get more credit.
Okay, because you said it before. Special teams matters. Bill Belichick was a special team coach with the Giants when they won their Super Bowls. And you go to defense. He is the greatest defensive mind as well. And then on top of that, he's the greatest offensive mind. And like he figures this shit out. And I'm sorry.
He might have to coach both. He might have to coach both offense and defense this year. So, well, I guess we'll see. They don't have any coordinators.
And you know what? You know he does. He just has a face, man. That's why they go and never can coach anywhere.
That's true. Yeah. But I don't know what Joe Judge was thinking that he could be Bill Belichick in New York,
but this is what I'm going to say right now. I'm going to make my clip. I will make yours after. I'm going to say this confidently. Do you have your list in front of you so you can say it as soon as it's ready?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to say my top 5, and then I'm going to answer my question of why Tom Brady is not the best of all time, and then my top 5. Okay? Simple as that.
Sounds good.
My top 5 quarterbacks of all time is Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, Joe Montana, and Dan Marino. That is my top 5 quarterbacks of all time. And now I'm going to say why Tom Brady is not the best quarterback of all time. Tom Brady is the GOAT. He is the greatest of all time. He is not a top 5 quarterback, and one of the main reasons was he wasn't even the best quarterback at any point of his career in the NFL. As simple as that. And every other person on my list, you can say at one day in their life, one season, they were the best quarterback in their respected league. Simple as that. Anyways, David, regardless, this is the last time we're going to talk about this, and we're getting to the free agency. So who is your top 5 quarterback of all time?
All right. So at number 5,
Hold
I'll
on. You got to do it. We got to be quick with this. You got to say David's top 5 quarterbacks and then make your list.
All right. David's top 5 quarterbacks: Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Montana, or not Joe Montana.
Restart this whole thing. You're
Okay,
good. Hold on. No,
David's
no, yeah.
David's top 5 quarterbacks of all time: Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Dan Marino, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. Not in that particular order,
Simple as
but
that.
that's my top 5.
Simple as that. And honestly, I respect your list. I get your list. I get the whole Tom Brady thing. He is the greatest of all time. I just think that he was blessed, and people don't give Bill Belichick as much respect as he deserves. Really is.
Yep.
Okay, enough of TikTok haters. Actually, I want to say something at the end of it. Oh, and kind of go back to like what's going on in the NFL, man. What the hell's going on?
Someone's playing Madden. Someone's playing Madden on easy mode.
Like,
The
so
Dolphins are playing Madden on easy mode.
F them picks. You know, honestly, great for the Rams.
Hey, they still have a pick. They still have a first round pick.
That's crazy, right?
That's insane.
Was that the for God, that's
Laramie
is it Steelers?
Tunsil.
It's still
It
the
was a
Laramie.
Laramie Tunsil.
Oh my god. God, remember when that was a player?
Yeah.
All right. Anyways,
they still have that pick, and they still have another. I think it's a second or third.
They have a
round
Fitzpatrick pick. I thought when they traded Malik Fitz.
I think they still have
Not Fitzpatrick. Who was their safety that went to Steelers?
Oh, yeah, Minka Fitzpatrick.
It was okay. I'm not crazy. All right. Anyways, let's break this down. The Tyreek Hill. I just think that teams don't want to help their quarterbacks.
You want to know what I think? Actually, this is my hot take of the week. Tyreek Hill, or sorry, Patrick Mahomes will miss Tyreek Hill more than Tyreek Hill misses Patrick Mahomes. And you want to know why? Guess what Tua's passer rating was last year? He had a 90 passer rating. Guess what Mahomes was? 98. So it's not that much of a drop off, in my opinion. And I know the internet is piling on Tua right now, but I honestly think they could be in the playoffs. They might be a wild card team. I don't think they'll be winning the division because they still have to contest against the Bills and the Patriots. But
what about the Jets?
The Jets. Don't even get me
Jets, Jets.
They had a chance at Tyreek Hill too.
Apparently, right?
That would have been great for Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I would have been
that
happy for him.
Great for him.
So looking at this we'll go on the Dolphins side first. Great pickup. They give up a first round, a second round, a fourth round, and a fourth and sixth round for next year. That's a quarterback trade right there.
Yeah.
Obviously they have to pay Tyreek Hill, and he's going to get the biggest contract. He's going to pass Devontae. He's going to get the largest.
30 mil?
Yeah.
What's the income tax in Miami? 0. So that's a
state income tax. That's why everyone comes to Florida to play.
So that's 30 mil cold.
Well, you get federal tax on top of it.
Yeah,
but
okay.
like in California, like your state income tax can maybe be like 14%. Like it's outrageous. So yes. Yeah, that's massive, right? So when you go down and play, he's going to get the largest contract. He's going to get to keep his money, which is great. He's going to be an environment where I think Tyreek Hill will thrive in because I feel like he has the mentality of Miami, but he won't get to Miami, if that makes sense. He wants to party, but he won't party too much. He wants to have a good time, but he won't do it too much.
I think that is a big part of the Miami downfall.
They're not going to be the New York Giants wide receivers picture.
Yo, chill out. We've moved past that. That's a different time. Okay.
But regardless, I think this is actually great for Tyreek Hill. I think Tyreek Hill will, if he played his entire career with Kansas City, he would already always had an asterisk by his name.
Yep.
That he was never the receiver because he was just fast and Patrick Mahomes could throw the ball a mile.
I think this is also great for Mahomes because now the argument that, Mahomes plays with 2 of the best receivers in the league is
not true
out
anymore.
The window. And let's say Juju Smith-Schuster becomes one of the best receivers in the league. We know what the reason is now because
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't when he was with Ben. He and Marcus Valdez Scantling. If he becomes a guy, then we know exactly why. And so this is kind of like if Tom Brady had split with Bill Belichick at an earlier time in his career, we would kind of be able to separate the two. So now we can kind of separate Mahomes and Hill and figure out who's the dog. Maybe they're both dogs. We'll see.
AFC gets crazier with the whole everything here because obviously Juju going to the Chiefs for 10 mil and you getting rid of Tyreek, you think you have a hole. Now they tried to fill it, and I need to know if you think this was great with Marquez Valdez Scantling.
Absolutely not.
You, I think it's Aaron Rodgers.
Do you
That
think it's Aaron
relationship,
Rodgers?
no, the player in that relationship was Aaron Rodgers. Like, like he was the one that made Marquez look as good as he was because
I
really
agree.
the Packers didn't have anyone other than Devontae, and he needed a second receiver, and it was either Adam Lazard, who was a undrafted pick coming out. He went to the Jaguars on a practice squad, and then went to the Green Bay Packers, and Marquez, who really wasn't ever like crazy, didn't do anything insane, but he was a solid number two.
I think it's gonna be one of those things where we look back and the Chiefs this offseason, they took a step back,
They
in
dropped the
my
ball.
opinion. And I know it's easy to say that because obviously they traded away their, like I would say arguably their second best player, but it's just one of those things where I don't see them making moves on the O line. But here's the thing: we have to wait for the draft in order to kind of grade that to give a final grade. Because if they hit in the draft, then all this is for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I would say that receiver is probably the easiest position to kind of plug and play people.
And I think the combine helped them with that. They probably saw all these fast receivers come out and like, I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
our quarterback can still throw it 400 yards.
And
So this
they've
guy can
got
run.
they've got a lot of picks now. They can shore up their O line, probably get younger on defense, and probably pick up a guy on the for their wide receiver team or wide
Core.
receiver core.
Yep.
And so I would say it's to be determined at this moment. But at this very moment, the Chiefs offseason, I'd give a grade of like a D.
Mm-hmm.
That grade could move up, but I don't think it's ever going to be an A plus. You don't lose a guy like, or even an A. I think the max is a B.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say you can't lose a guy like Tyreek Hill. It drops you down right away. Automatically, you're a worse team than you were before. The only reason I can see this being something that they did was that they couldn't work out a deal with
And I think that's
Tyreek,
what it was. I mean,
and
you
and
can't
they
keep
wanted to get
Kelsey, you
something,
can't keep Manning, and you can't, or sorry, Mahomes. You can't keep Kelsey, and you can't keep Hill. Simple as
and
that.
they need. Hey, if it turns out that that's the case, then this is a great move because
Mhm.
now they at least get
A
equal
first round
value
pick, a second
back.
round pick, a fourth round pick, a fourth round pick, and sixth round pick.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of ways to look at this. In my opinion, for the team aspect of it, I don't think it's a great move, but you never know. I mean,
Yep.
there are a bunch of dudes in this draft class for in the skilled positions, some fast dudes, and so and the reason why I hesitate to say that is because Tyreek Hill is not just a fast guy.
Yeah.
He is a great receiver,
Mm-hmm.
and he's developed into a great receiver. And so, will he be easily replaced? Absolutely not. Can it be done? Yes. So we'll see.
So my only worry when it comes to this is the health and age of Travis Kelsey. And I want to
Yeah.
know, in which we will probably find out soon, is did Travis Kelsey sit down with the Chiefs and like Travis Kelsey say, hey, I'm not retiring for a while. You have me. Because Kelsey's 31 now. And for a tight end that is a great blocking tight end, which is a great like receiving tight end, he has put in a lot of work, and those knees don't work the same as they used to.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm worried. So if Kelsey's gone in 2 or 3 years, the Chiefs are not going to be the dynasty that we wanted them to be. They won't be the next Patriots. They won't be, because you can't lose two people like that and not have a defense. And that's what the Patriots had for so long, was that they didn't necessarily need those core receiving crew. They had great B+ players and a great defense. And that's what it worries me with the Chiefs, because they're trying to replace an A+ player with a 2 B- players as of now in their career.
Yep, I agree. I think, but I see it's a hard thing. It's a hard team to figure out, I think, because
and that division just got 15 times harder, by the way.
Yeah, you can't discount Patrick Mahomes. You can't discount Andy Reid. And regardless of who they have around them, I feel like they make those guys better. And it's one of those things that you can't really judge it now. Mm-hmm. It's a later on, it's a hindsight kind of judgment. So we'll see.
So
that's the best I can say about that.
AFC West is going to be fun to watch. It just got to me, it got more interesting.
Where does Baker go?
He doesn't. CFL? Do the Elks need a quarterback
XFL?
right now? XFL? The FCFL? Fan Control Football League, just like Johnny Manziel?
Jesus. I don't know, man. I don't where
Baker Mayfield.
Realistically, where do you think he could go at this point?
Baker Mayfield can go back up. There's a couple. One, he can go back up in New England, because there's a love for him, or the Raiders, because Josh McDaniels always loved Baker Mayfield. Don't forget, Josh McDaniels had a private workout when Baker Mayfield was coming out. He really likes him. Derek Carr and him are very similar. Derek Carr's better, and I think he's more of a leadership guy, but I think he could work as a backup in Oakland. If not there, maybe Seattle.
Hear me out. Baker Mayfield backing up Tom Brady.
I could see it, because that's what they wanted to happen.
Tom Brady is they need a quarterback to step up right
Blaine
when Tom
Gabbert
Brady
is incredible.
I'm
a Jaguars fan. You're good.
Yeah,
don't yet.
you chill out, okay? So ideally, if he's not going to get a starting job this year, which is not looking like he's going to,
Texans,
I would say the Bucs should try to scoop him up, because that would be, not only would he learn from Tom Brady, who is a winner and who knows how to win and can kind of instill something in Baker that he seems to be missing, which is like the good decision making, reading plays and making the right choices on plays. If he gets with Tom Brady, even for a year or two, I don't know how long Tom Brady plans to do this for, but if he gets with Tom Brady, I could see it being, I could see him being a better player in that, like through that process. Now, will that happen? Absolutely not. I do not think him and who's their coach?
Bruce Arians will get along. Absolutely not.
The
tomato man. The round man.
I don't think Baker Mayfield and Tomato Boy will ever get along. So I don't see that working out. But I think it would be the best place for him.
Okay, so I'll make like a quick list of possible teams. All right, we'll kind of go through. NFC West, probably Seattle would be the only one, because they don't like Drew Lock. Apparently, Pete Carroll's loving with them. No one's in love with Drew Lock except for Drew Lock.
Hey, whoa. Drew Lock's not bad.
He's not a starting quarterback. He's a high-tier backup. 49ers, obviously not, because they have their own messed up life. Where does Jimmy G go from here either? Like,
He's staying there one more year.
Anyways, so we have Seattle. I mean, obviously the Rams are pretty solid now at quarterback. And also that
Yeah.
goes to my point where people always want to crap on like Dan Marino. If Dan Marino did exactly what Matthew Stafford did, he would have won a
Yeah,
Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford
I
is the
agree.
pinnacle of as soon as someone changes teams, they can win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But anyways, who am I missing in the West? Oh, Arizona Cardinals. He can't go there. AFC West, obviously not. They're pretty stacked everywhere across the
Could go
board.
to the Saints.
Okay, NFC South. So I'll get there though. So we're gonna go AFC North. We have the Ravens, obviously not. The Steelers, definitely not. They got Mitchell now. Browns, obviously not. And then who am
Yeah.
I missing in the AFC North here? Cincinnati, obviously not. NFC North, I could see the Lions. I could.
Hey man, don't disrespect Jared
Jared
Goff
Goff
like
is
that.
gone after next year because it's such a big contract. They can't get rid of it. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Jared Goff is gone
Yeah.
after next year. Green Bay's solid, of course. Minnesota's solid, of course. Bears,
Of course.
I mean, as in they re-signed Kirk
I
Cousins. They're not going to bring in
I don't
Baker.
know.
You're not going to bring in Baker Mayfield to back up Kirk
I guess they
Cousins,
did. I guess yeah.
right?
Sure. Okay.
So AFC North and NFC North settled. NFC South, we have the Saints could be a possibility, even though they just brought back Jameis. Let's see how his
Mhm.
health comes back. I do like the Buccaneers. That is actually a smart one. Maybe the Panthers, because the Panthers were looking for a quarterback. Maybe
I think they
that could
want
be
to draft
interesting.
one. I
True,
think they
but
want
that
to
would be
draft
an
one.
interesting one.
But yeah, I agree.
And then the Falcons, obviously not, but we'll get into that in just a second. I want to wait on that one because I want to talk about what happened there. AFC South Jaguars are settled. I think the
Are they?
Texans, yes, Trevor Lawrence is yes. Shut up.
Are we
Stop.
sure about that?
Stop.
Okay.
Stop.
Hey, whatever, man.
AFC
It's your
South
team. Your funeral.
Jaguars are settled.
Okay.
Texans could be a good one because the Texans do need a bridge quarterback for a year, and I don't know if they're set on.
Hey,
I
chill
know
out.
I like
Davis
Davis Mills.
Mills.
I like him, but it might not be the best. Like, I mean, Baker Mayfield could work there. That's the thing. He could work.
Sure.
So they have that. Titans. I don't like Ryan Tannehill, but I mean, actually, you know what? Titans with Baker Mayfield.
I think it would be a great pick.
I'm not opposed to it. It's a New England guy.
Yeah.
During the same time, I could see him go to the Titans and they could use him. I think he could because they just need a quarterback to not throw interceptions. And I think Baker is going to be more consistent than Ryan Tannehill was. Because at least Baker can actually naturally kind of throw the ball. Ryan Tannehill is a natural wide receiver.
Sure. All right. Continue.
Let's see. Is that everyone in the South? Colts. Just
have that.
we'll get into that in a second. NFC South, AFC South, NFC North, AFC North, NFC West, AFC Northwest. So AFC East, Patriots, like you said, Jets obviously not, Bills obviously not, and
Dolphins obviously not.
No.
No. He was good, man. I'm telling you.
And then NFC East. So you're not going to take it. How ironic would it be if you went to the Eagles and him and Jalen Hurts were on the same team?
I don't think that's going to happen.
Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott might not be that guy, but we know Baker Mayfield ain't a Cowboys guy.
Yeah. I can tell you right now, he's not going there either.
Giants?
Absolutely not. No, thank you. You can keep that mess to yourself. No, thank you.
And then the Commanders, who obviously have Carson Wentz now. So really, in my eyes, I see Texans. I agree with your Saints pick. I could see Seattle. I could see Tampa, like you said, as well. And I think Tennessee could be an opportunity.
Sure.
But I agree. I don't know where he goes. I don't know where he fits. Wherever he goes, he has to build up. There's no like he's going in, he's that guy. He's going to have to become that guy.
I think he wins. He could win a spot.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think he went from starting quarterback, no doubt,
like
to
he went to poster child. No, he went from poster child to starting quarterback to wide receivers having issues to wide receivers gone to we need Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, it's insane. Has there been a downfall this rapid in the NFL?
Tyrod Taylor? No.
I can't think
Andrew
of one.
Luck, I guess, for just
I mean, I guess Andrew Luck, but yeah. I mean, that's the closest, and that's not even
Jared
close.
Goff.
Yeah, okay, Jared Goff. Yeah,
Yeah, okay. I mean, I think Baker is always better than Jared Goff, and people had higher expectations.
yeah.
So getting into the last biggest trade before we recorded this, I've been watching news just in case some crazy crap's been happening. Matt Ryan going to the Colts, and not just Matt Ryan going to the Colts. Matt Ryan going to the Colts for a 3rd round pick. Disrespectful.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Disrespectful.
I
Absolutely.
saw the.
Like Falcons, disgusting. I'm sorry. You
Did
threw
you see
away.
what they? Did you see what they? There was like a Twitter thing where their farewell video for Drew Brees was longer than Matt Ryan's by like a lot. It was like Drew Brees was like a minute 50. Matt Ryan was 50
A man,
seconds.
and I'm gonna take this from Mike Florio because he said this and it's so true. Matt Ryan was punished for being good soldier. Matt Ryan came in after the Mike Vick debacle with everything that happened at the time and stayed. And now he is being tossed away because they didn't get Deshaun Watson. Because they said, hey, by the way, Matt Ryan, we're going to go for Deshaun Watson, someone who has had a troubled past. And they are going to get rid of Matt Ryan because of that. What did Matt Ryan I'm sorry, Matt Ryan's not the fault that the Falcons are the Falcons. I get ripping off the Band-Aid, the Super Bowl. They just need to redo the entire team. But like Matt Ryan, I think on the Colts is a perfect pick. I think that he's gonna run an Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning idea, not as good, but he's gonna be that guy that can run that position and run that
Who's
type
he
of
throwing
offense.
to?
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I guess so.
T.Y. Hilton, the best offensive line in the league. I mean, come
Yeah.
on. I mean, in a division that's wide open as well.
Honestly, I think the Colts went from are a contender now.
Yeah.
With that defense.
Yep.
With the O line.
Unless you're playing the Jaguars in Week 18 to make it to the playoffs.
I think Matt Ryan beats the Jaguars. So let's just put that.
I agree.
But all they need to do is get him one guy.
Yep.
They need one guy for him, and I think if they could do that, then yeah, Matt.
And they do the draft. I mean, if they get him in the draft, I think that's it was a great addition for the Colts. I'm just mad at the Falcons for giving up for so little. In all honesty, it's so sad to see a player that has truly performed so well for so long get tossed aside like he isn't one of the greatest quarterbacks. Not gonna be on any list anytime soon. And again, I said this last time. Why not? I said this last time. The reason why people don't respect Matt Ryan is that he didn't win the Super Bowl, and it wasn't his fault.
I agree. I think Matt Ryan, he's been an MVP.
Yep, he has.
He was an MVP at a certain point.
He was the MVP the year before they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Matt Ryan, and that's
got to the Super Bowl. Sorry,
that's impressive because, like you said, it's very hard to win the Super Bowl as an MVP.
Yep,
and to get there is even harder because that means you were carrying your team.
Yep,
for the most part, and so I would say. Matt Ryan could do some things in that division, and I would not be shocked if the Colts are in the playoffs next year, and if they're contenders.
I agree. They had the missing piece. They truly did the Matt Stafford to the LA Rams this year.
Yeah,
and
we'll see if it works.
Yeah. And the Falcons, I actually did like this signing for Marcus Mariota. The 2-year, $18.75 million contract. I would like to see Marcus Mariota get a second chance. Simple as that.
I agree. Hey, if Ryan Tannehill can get a second chance, I think Marcus Mariota deserves one too.
I agree. And I think that he can work well, and that team officially has their new team. Let's see what Arthur can do.
Yeah.
Both Arthurs.
Yeah.
Arthur squared.
Yeah, and do they have any draft picks this year? Because they got to get a receiver.
I mean, what, Calvin Ridley isn't on the team again? Oh, wait a minute. Man bets on his own team. I will look this up really quick. I mean, they have a 3rd round pick, right?
Yeah, they do.
They have 8 total draft picks. I don't know if that was before or after the trade, but they do have 8 draft picks, one way or
Okay.
the other.
Yeah, I could see them getting better.
Yeah, I do too.
We'll see.
And they're playing. I mean, I think that once Tom Brady came back, I think that they kind of threw in the towel with Matt Ryan. I think that's what that was.
Yeah, I could see that being the reason, but I also could see them just wanting to get younger.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll see.
So it's time to let's do. If you're gonna do a rebuild, you gotta tear everything down, right? You gotta
Yeah,
demolish everything.
I agree.
All right. So for the week for you, what's the check down?
The check down is what is the next domino to fall in the off-season circus that we are currently going through. Will it be a needle mover in terms of Super Bowl aspirations?
I got you.
What's your check down?
What's the check down for me is that who's going to get traded next? Like I said, I think the Panthers may get traded to the NFC West for all we know. Madden 23 is changing the ball game. Other than that, for what's the check down, David, thank you so much for another great episode. I always have fun doing this, even though we hate each other deep down. But regardless, what's the check down for David, for Chandler? Until you guys hate me on TikTok and Twitter and the Instagram. See you guys next time. See you next week, y'all. Peace.
Peace.